Press 2 for representative.
Welcome back to another episode of Press 2 for Representative. My name is Parker Andrus. I am joined with Ian Blotter, and we are grateful to be doing another episode of everybody's favorite podcast today. It's good to be back. Ian, it's been a while. How you been?
I know it's been a while. I'm happy to be here. Excited to dive in and talk about what we're going to talk about. I've missed
Yeah,
you. These conversations and our, avid listeners are always asking when we're going to do more. So we're sorry. We'll try and
exactly.
do more.
Exactly. A lot's happened since we last spoke. And as all of our listeners know, we are with a company called TELE-NET that provides outsourced call center support services for companies all around the world. And we keep quality at the forefront of everything that we do. But today we are super excited to welcome another guest to the show. We have Travis from Mico. Let's give it up for Travis. We're very grateful to have
Travis.
him here with us today. Travis has a wonderful career within the AI, not only the AI industry, but also contact center specific AI tools as well. And so we are grateful to have the chance to speak with him and learn of his expertise and his company. Travis, welcome to the pod. We're happy to have you here.
Super great to be here. I'm probably your biggest fan. So seen a
I
lot of
believe that. We appreciate it. We were happy to see your request to be on the podcast. So
it was nonstop, so you couldn't have missed it.
very, very good. Well, Travis, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, any details you want to divulge about yourself, what you're doing, what Mico does as well. Let's hear it all.
Cool. So yeah, I'm Travis. I started in this industry, so I'm kind of in the conversational AI industry, and I started out in solution delivery. So a company called Verint in the United States, and I was an analyst, a data analyst, and my primary job was to look at the behavior of chatbots, the chatbots that we had deployed for various clients, and find the gaps in their understanding, and recommend greater coverage and update the NLU model, natural language understanding model, and did some conversation design there for chatbots and IVR. So I kind of cut my teeth in that role, and I really, really enjoyed it. And so that was 2018 when I graduated from my master's program, that I got that job. And I've kind of just been a fan ever since of conversational AI. And as you can recognize, 2018 was the before times, before ChatGPT came out and all the generative AI stuff. So I was a fan when everybody hated chatbots, and now welcome everyone else. Yeah, so I used various like conversational AI tools to accomplish my work. Some proprietary, and then others like IBM Watson that you may have heard of, Nuance. Another one called Human First that was more for like the NLU modeling. But at Mico, this is the first time I've been in product delivery. So we're actually focused on taking all the best aspects of those different tools that we've used in the past, and kind of putting our own spin on it and creating our own conversational AI platform. So Mico is a larger company that is sort of B to B to C. So we kind of help customers. We help our clients, which are businesses, market and reach out to their users or their customers. And so a lot of it goes through messaging. A lot of it goes through like the Line app. But our specific department is called Mico Voice. So we're an AI call platform. So on our platform, a user can create call flows, and the call flows can handle inbound and outbound calls. And then there's some performance reporting in there. There's integrations with CRMs. There's callback handling and various other features that we've worked on. So we launched in like the summer of 2024. So we're just coming up on almost 2 years of having a product. And so I have some stats that we could get into later, but that's kind of the background.
Very cool. And Mico is a Japanese company, or are they headquartered somewhere else? Japanese company. So you are also located in Japan as well.
Yeah. You may maybe can tell from my background, I'm in Japan.
Very good. Well, we like people that are in Japan. I wanted to ask a quick question about chat bots.
Mm,
Because like you said, those have been around for a while.
mm.
And if I'm being honest with things, I feel like chatbots after a while they kind of got a bad rap. People
Oh
got
yeah.
frustrated with just the non-flexible
Hmm.
responses that they would get, and oftentimes it would lead to a larger frustration because it wasn't resolving issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chatbots have come a long way, but I still feel like there's this negative stereotype against them. Can you talk a little bit about what you've seen as they've developed and what this generative AI has done for chatbots to improve the experience and just help out in general?
Yeah. So, um, they kind of started out as just sort of routing tools, I'd say, and chatbots have been around for decades at this point. But
Yeah.
most of them, either on the voice side or on just the text-based side, they were mostly just for routing. Getting the call driver or like the intent, and then just you know putting that person, getting that person to the right operator, basically.
Mm,
But then they evolved a little bit, and they focused on uh, at best they focused on automation, and automation is defined as like they get the customer to the answer and resolve
mm,
the problem. At worst, these things were all set up for deflection. So you kind of had these competing metrics to judge the success of like chatbots and IVRs. Um, if you they kind of measured the exact same thing though. It's just how many people do we keep from talking to a human? And
mm,
like I said, you could spin it and say it's all automation, but some companies have just never been concerned with that. Their chief goal was cost, um, and so it was all about deflection. Whether they called and got an answer, it didn't matter, or whether they chatted and got an answer, it didn't matter. It was as long as they didn't reach a human, that was the goal. So that was like the source of the bad rap, I think, because from a company's perspective, that's great news in a lot of respects. Um, but from a user's perspective, all we care about is getting an answer. So,
yeah.
and the same is true, like you're saying, with generative AI. Um, I have sort of this analogy that I sometimes use, which is like, you know, if I go to a storefront, say like a mobile phone carrier, and I walk in, and everybody looks impeccably dressed and like hair all slicked back like a politician, and they say the nicest things, and they compliment me, and tell me I'm so smart and so wise, and everything I say is just so perfect.
These all
And then
sound
I walk
true.
out of there. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And then I walk out of there, but I've not made any progress on what I was going there for. Like I haven't
Mm,
gotten my issue resolved. I didn't get a plan. I didn't get a phone. I, I'm not going to leave satisfied. And I think there's sort of a facade, that all these models lately have put on, that they speak really well and they are so natural. They sound like a human, but if they don't like connect to actual knowledge of the company and like solutions and resolving problems, they're no better in the end.
mm,
So yeah, so and in that way they should be prioritized as such. Like if they're not going to actually resolve a problem, then they're just a cosmetic change. And if you're not, prioritizing other cosmetic changes on your website or your, then you probably shouldn't care about this one. The
mhm.
goal should be solving problems, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that analogy. I was coming in with one myself, and we've sort of hit on this where, we used to have hold music whenever you called in, and that was what we had listened to and sit with. But now these chat bots for a long time felt like the new hold music. It just sort of filled the silence
Mm,
until you got that human uh, person that you were trying to talk with. But it's come a long way. It sounds like what you're saying. Solving problems. That's always the big concern. I think with outsiders of can this AI, can this chatbot, can this tool actually solve my problem?
mm,
Um, and because everybody thinks I need a person, that's why we always say speak to representative 100 times on the phone.
mm,
Um, and so it does sound, I do like when I talk to, people in this industry dealing with AI, that you have similar goals in trying to get to that root of the problem, for the customer. Um, but how far off do you feel like AI is from taking over completely and being able to solve all the problems? Do you see that, or do you still see like human intervention, to an extent? What do you see the balance for AI automation and human intervention, I guess?
Yeah, I could say where Mico fits right now, is so like I was saying, there's kind of a continuum. So there's like these call routers that all they do is get the intent and pass it off to a human, and that's great. It saves a lot of time, or saves some time. And then you have things like automation that can access like knowledge bases and tools, and but they're still kind of deterministic, meaning the customer still has to type in what it should actually say in response to certain intents or call drivers. And that's where Mico is right now. We're kind of firmly in that automation camp where you know it's a tool where you can log in, you can create a call flow, and you're typing out what it says, and the goal is to either get them to the right person or to resolve an intent, that type of thing. um, but then it kind of progresses, and what you see now on the market a lot are agents. They call them like AI agents, and they're more like prompt driven. So they're almost semi autonomous in a way. So the user still has to like log in to the platform or whatever and type a prompt and basically give the AI a goal and say like,
Uh-huh.
hey, we need this person wants to reschedule. This phone is set up to like reschedule appointments. So, ask these types of questions and get to that answer. And so that's I think where the industry is heading. But again, it all depends on like how connected they are to backend systems. Like
Mm.
ChatGPT and Gemini and all these tools, they so badly want to solve your problem, and that's like their Achilles heel. Because even if they don't have the tools to do it, they'll say it's done. And
Mhm.
at a previous company I worked for, um, we were just getting into like the AI hype. Like this was right when ChatGPT came out, and they were so just gung ho, like we have to release something that's generative, and so we released this chatbot. And I was sort of on the team that was red teaming. I guess that's what it's called. I think that's what it's called. This agent, and I got it to basically say the CEO would resign. I got it to give me multiple discounts and apologize profusely for horrible customer support and offer all sorts of perks and discounts and things. And I shared that with him. And I'm like, guys, this is the problem. It has to be reined in. Like we can't release it like this. So I think that's where the industry is right now. We're still balancing that. Like enterprises, they it's kind of a zero sum game for most of them. Like it cannot hallucinate. Like if it hallucinates, it's over. So there's still like
Yeah.
this balance between giving it autonomy to make it natural and still having like guardrails to make it. And what ends up happening a lot of times is you end up putting so many guardrails on your AI agent that it almost becomes deterministic in a way. And so it's like you're paying a lot more for the same end product. So Mico right now, we are firmly in sort of still the deterministic thing, but we are taking strides to try to implement generative AI where it makes sense. It may not make sense in actually like generating content to an end user, but it could be used in designing the flow, for example, or in a number of other areas that are much safer.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's it's really interesting to think about. And um, right now, yeah, the biggest danger of AI is it simply doesn't know how to say I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? It will never tell you it doesn't know something. It will always provide information, and whether or not information is correct or not is a gamble. Still, it can't be 100%, or it's at least not 100% yet, and who knows if it ever will be.
Mm.
Um,
It's funny, Parker. We were talking about this literally yesterday, where ChatGPT, in most cases, always seems to want to agree with you. It doesn't, like, I found mistakes or things that it's provided, and you tell ChatGPT that this is wrong or you want to do something else, and it like apologizes and like, oh, you're right, yes, that's correct, I'm glad you caught that. So it's funny that we were literally just talking about
But
that sort
what's
of
funny,
situation.
Ian, is you can go right back to the previous statement,
Yeah.
say, actually, that was right. And it's like, oh, that's so right. And then you go back and forth and you're always right.
Yeah, which always feels good.
That is funny. So yeah, we're obviously TELE-NET. We are in the business of human customer support and services, and we've taken the approach, and as discussed in some previous episodes, of utilizing AI to improve the efficiency of our agents.
Mhm.
And there's no question that AI has just skyrocketed the efficiency of the agent's capability, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. But we're still seeing that people in general, people, when I say people, I mean the consumer customers, are wanting human interaction. This is all situational, though. There are certain situations where people will absolutely crave um, just AI, and AI will be able to do the job, no problem. But in a lot of situations, usually when there's emotion behind the inquiry, that's when they want human.
Mhm.
Is at least what I've been noticing. So where I was headed with that is, being that we are a human company and you're more on the AI thing, what is that balance that you're seeing? There was a recent HBR, Harvard Business Review article talking about how so many companies similar to yours or your previous one, that just as soon as AI was there, all things AI, we're gung ho, we're buying in 100%.
Mm.
Let's lay off our staff because this is way cheaper. It's going to be just as effective. And now those people are hiring back human employees because the
Mm.
AI, the kind of the holes of AI, or the cons of AI had been exposed a bit more.
Mm.
So I want to talk a little bit more about that balance from your perspective of
Mm.
human and AI. And if you think, I guess Ian kind of already answered this, but we'll expound on it a little bit more. Um, what is that balance? And do
Mm.
you think humans will always be involved, or do you foresee that they will be eliminated, and AI will be able to match that emotional feel that a
Mm.
human provides?
Yeah. So I have a couple of answers. One is, I think it's important to um, start with the desired outcome, or like the intent, right? If you start with the intent and then you model like what are the intents. So this is kind of where Mico's going. I don't want to give too much breaking news here. but
Don't get yourself in trouble, Travis. It's okay.
but you know we want to basically, like, a call flow is a distraction. A call flow is a distraction, and it kind of gets in the way of, like, it hides the logic, in a way. So like, the logic is embedded in the flows and the nodes, and you don't like see the resolution steps, and it kind of obscures like what's going on. It kind of can look pretty sometimes, but it kind of obscures things. And so we want to get to a point where we're kind of we're kind of so, for example, the vision is we could upload calls transcripts. So like a human to human call, and upload hundreds of those or thousands of those. And that's where we would want to use generative AI to kind of model, like, what are the most common questions? What are that users are asking? What are the steps that the agents are taking to solve those? And then give the end user of our platform the ability to say, where can these things be automated, and where should they still be handed off to a human? So you kind of break it down from, first, like, we're talking about the problems. What are the problems? And then what are the steps that are needed to solve the problem? And then what are the tools we have available? And then who should handle those? And then you take it intent by intent like that, because no one intent can, I mean, you can't just take all of your intents or call drivers and handle them the exact same way. Um,
Mm.
and so you have to kind of think of it in that terms. And when you break it down like that, then it's just a matter of, like, we can handle it with AI, and so let's try to handle it with AI. Or we cannot handle it with AI, so this needs to be passed off to a human. And then, as you know, the as more tools are developed or more features are released on the automation side, maybe you move some of what is handled by human back to the automation side. Or if you do some analysis and realize that the AI is not really solving the problem really well, or you thought the AI could do it better, but it's not performing, move that to the human side. So it's really built into the system, or it hopefully will be, this breakdown of the problem by what are the steps involved and who can handle what, and then you have the freedom to move that back and forth as you do analysis. So I think that's kind of where I see our future. But I don't know if you've heard from Elon Musk, but have you heard of
Elon?
Yeah, your friend.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the human emulator?
I don't know if I have.
I don't know.
Okay. So this is where he envisions things. So I saw him on a podcast not too long ago, and he was talking about they plan to solve customer support, and he was specifically talking about our industry, customer support, the same way they solved autonomous driving. So, there's two ways to solve autonomous driving. I think if you had asked me 20 years ago, like, how can cars drive themselves? There needs to be some infrastructure where like the roads and the traffic signals communicate and signs communicate with this car. And, so that like when I'm driving down the road, the traffic signal can communicate with my car that says like, hey, I'm about to turn red. So you need to start slowing down and anticipate it. That's the way I would have thought of like how we solve autonomous driving. Way he went about it, of course, as you know, is embedded the car with hundreds of sensors and cameras, and then just built a model of the world and told it what to do when you encounter a stop sign, or what do you do when you encounter a stoplight. So his vision of how to solve customer support is called a human emulator. And so basically they're planning XAI to teach an AI how to navigate a standard like computer and operating system, and to use an operating system, and probably through the command line, and basically just deploy these human emulators to like customer support centers, right? And so then the AI will get the call and just use the computer like a human would. And so the advantage to that is there's no like APIs needed, there's no integrations necessary. So today there's so many legacy systems that don't have APIs, where like we would want to integrate to help somebody solve their problem, or schedule an appointment, but they don't have an API. So then we have a long process to build the API, or they do, and then we have to communicate with that API and all this process. Well, his vision for it is that this human emulator just does what a human does on the end, on the call. And so that's like where he thinks it's going. I think there are problems with that, but
that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Again, how does emulate and actual emotion are two different things. And again, that's something we've talked about previously. End of the day is people just want to be heard. And so can that emulate that same feeling of an individual being heard, and just provide that empathy of, oh, this is such a terrible situation. Let me hear you out. Let me take care of that for you. Sorry, Ian, I cut you off.
Oh, no, I was just saying there's like a whole other discussion about security that we don't need to get into, but just, like you said, companies don't have APIs, or, they're on legacy systems. That they're on legacy systems for a reason, on-prem or whatever, because they don't they have security compliance, things that they're trying to follow, and have data that they don't want to be, touched by outsiders. But I don't know if that's the way to say it, but I think that whole security reason or issue is something that I think a lot of people would be worried about, with AI having access to something really big. But in a lot of situations, I could see customer service, the rep has access to a few different things. So if the AI has access just to what the rep has access to, then it could probably work. But then I've even heard of stories of like the cars that get stuck in intersections sometimes because they don't know
The
they don't know
Waymos.
what to do. Yeah, they don't know where to go or what to do because there's like too much or various reasons that are hard to predict. Just
Mm,
with the world being, so unpredictable in a lot of ways. So, I mean, it's a very interesting idea and it brings up a lot of questions. Um,
yeah.
so I don't, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I only mention it because I think you may start hearing that more and more.
Hmm.
That's
Mm.
my guess. If the richest man in the Western world, at least, is starting to say it, then maybe it's going to be a thing soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I mean, I'm sure he's had failed projects, but there's got to be a time where his projections might miss. I don't know.
Oh, he's
Again,
always overestimating, as a lot of CEOs tend to do, like
yeah,
the
Mhm.
timing. But the
yeah,
direction, maybe he has been pretty accurate. But yeah, the timing
Mhm.
is always tough.
Yeah.
yeah.
For us now, I think a big strategy that we see a lot is the AI tools. Is there's a shift definitely to the tools, but the strategy is
Yep.
sort of working together, providing the best service because we see a lot of times human touch is needed.
Mm,
And AI can help a lot with that. But like you said, with a lot of things through the workflows and generative predictable stuff that it's able to, ask or kind of flow through with with the customer that they can do that, but then there's a lot of times where it needs to be rerouted to a human.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what we see now, and it'll be interesting to kind of continue to watch where it goes.
It's exciting. I don't know. I'm excited about it. So I think we're in a fun industry. I think it's going to
Yeah.
be disruptive, continue to be kind of disrupted maybe
Hmm.
over the
Yeah.
next 5 years. It'll be fun to be involved in.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting too because especially when AI was really, really just, I don't know if it's climaxed yet, if it's fair to say that, but just all the rage and just as booming tremendously. Everybody was predicting, oh, customer service call centers are done for. Like these are going to be gone in years, but we're still here, and from our perspective, we're still seeing a lot of growth and a lot of demand again for the human side um, for that. So
Yeah.
again, I think there's no way that we're going to see a decrease in quality of AI, but there could be a decrease in how it's used. Um, so yeah, we'll see. Yeah, like you said, it's exciting to see where things go and what what the trajectory will shift to or not to in the future.
Yeah. And I don't view this as a my side versus your side. Like
I should
we're not
certainly hope not.
I don't feel like we're competing. I hope we're collaborating as much as possible and even more than we used to.
Mm,
I think we used to operate in silos, like totally separate
Mhm.
silos where AI, you just build this call flow and then have almost no knowledge of what takes place if it transfers to a human. But I think the key is bridging that gap more and more and viewing these things from the level of the intent or the problem and the desired outcome, and then just like
Mhm.
who can do it best.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. One thing that I'm super interested in seeing is how sales will be pulled into this
Mm,
because I think for the most part, like closers and sales are still very much human dominated.
right.
It'll be interesting to see how AI's role in that shifts and changes, and if there will ever be a AI closer per se
mm.
um, for certain situations.
Yeah,
So
that's hard to imagine. Yeah, and
yeah,
that may be the last stand.
yeah, very very
Just
interesting.
what a salesperson wants to hear.
Very good. Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. Been very very interesting to me. It's fun to talk and hear everybody's perspective, especially someone like you, Travis, who's very much in the weeds in the industry of AI within our space of call centers and whatnot. Anything else you'd like to share about you, the industry, or if people want to learn more about Mico, you want to give another pitch or plug?
I mean, you can go to Mico. What is our website? I think it's like Mico dash. No, you can just go to micovoice.com. Yeah, and you
And
can
that's
see
MIKO, right?
MICO. Actually, you would think
Oh, that's
it's
right.
Japanese,
Yeah,
but
the
no,
Japanese mind that got me.
micovoice.com. Yeah. And kind of
MICO.
see our product and definitely, if you have any questions or you're interested in learning more, I'd be happy to to talk or route you to the right person. See what I
Cool.
did there?
Well, there you go. There you go.
Y-
For our listeners, if you are interested in getting in touch with Travis, let us know in the comments. We'd be happy to put you in touch with him and with Mico. As is tradition as well, we would love to hear from you. Either a customer service fail or win, or both, maybe both if you have both. But we like to end that with sharing one actually one of each usually. But do you have something in mind that you could share with us about a time that was either frustrating or an incredible experience for you in the customer service world?
Yes. Okay, so this one happened in Japan, and it's not on
Ooh.
on a phone or anything like that. This was an in-person interaction. Okay, so your thought of Japan and everyone's thought about Japan is customer service is perfect. And for this
Yep.
reason,
I think we're gonna have to stop it there, actually. So,
okay. Oh, you're
being a
going to-
Japanese customer service company.
Oh, no.
No, go ahead.
Uh, so it's for this specific reason that like this stands out as like one of the worst. Had I had this interaction in America, it's like every day there. So like this, it stands out particularly because it was in Japan. But I was taking my son, who at the time was 3 years old, to get a haircut. It had a red race car he could sit in, and he's gotten his haircut there a number of times. He has a little bit of anxiety when it comes to getting his haircut. He hates the whatever, the razor thing.
The clippers.
And yeah, and so he's whimpering a little bit when we walk in, and I can tell that it's under new management because this like manager that looks like he just finished smoking some cigarettes outside came through and was like, "Hey, if he doesn't stop crying, he can't get his haircut here." Like, okay, I
Jeez.
already kind of purchased my ticket from the kiosk, and so we go sit in the waiting room, and he's still whimpering a little bit, my son, and I'm trying to like, it's okay, and before like I sat there for 10 seconds, the manager comes by, he opens the kiosk with a key, gets the money out, gives it to us, and says basically, "Get out."
Wow.
Like,
Yikes.
what? And it just like blew my mind. So we left a strongly worded Google review. And
Yeah.
come to find out, we were reading the other Google reviews, and this had become an issue like in the last few months, where they're just like anti-kid there. So that was
Wow.
a tough one. But so we just go to QB House. I don't know if no one will know that.
I know it, Travis. Don't worry.
And then the
That's
win.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy though, really quickly. Like that is very much not the norm. And yeah, you get those stories all the time out of the US of someone getting angry about a child whimpering. And whimpering isn't even that bad in my opinion. A cry isn't even that bad, but a
Yeah.
whimper is even less so.
Mhm.
So yeah, that is not the norm of Japan. And if that guy was at TELE-NET, he would not be at TELE-NET anymore. So
Correct.
yeah. Anyways, you were saying the win. You
The
have a win as
win,
well.
it's not a super detailed story, this one, but this was maybe in like 2019. So again, this is before the AI agent hype, and it's sort of these more natural feeling conversational, bots. Um, I called a shoe company. I think I was returning some shoes. I got like Skechers. I think it was like a Skechers, and I called this, and it had an IVR that front-ended human chat. And I'm telling you, I was working on IVRs at the time, and this like blew my mind. I never found out who built the thing, but it was
Mhm.
the most natural IVR that I've ever experienced. And like the design of the conversational flow was amazing. And I did end up transferring to a human, and it was, easy to get to. There was no sort of like, "Are you sure you want to transfer? Did you try this?" It was just, a smooth connection. And anyway, I was just blown away by like the care that went into the design of the automation. Um,
Mm.
and that's something that, takes experts like to really care about how this experience is going to go for the end user. And I don't think that goes away. I think there are still conversational design experts that are needed even in today's world and probably into the future.
And your opinion of Skechers probably is solidified for life, right?
I'm not kidding. I only wear Skechers.
There we go. There we go.
Well, that's
I mean,
awesome.
yeah, we talk about this a lot too, but it's it's so interesting how above and beyond can just set you on a course for complete loyalty.
Yeah.
But the moment that something happens where it's the opposite end of the scale, just you swear that brand off. It's
Yeah.
very, very interesting. And most of the time people come away with the neutral, like, oh yeah, that was fine.
Right.
But it's really impressive when a company does something, even with IVR, to
A little
kind of give you
worrisome
that wow
to
aspect.
hear that story, but coming from a call center,
We're on the same
you're
team, Ian. We're on the same
just
team.
kidding. That's good. That's good. No, I like that. Yeah, because I think as you said, you talk to a human as well, and so to have sort of a great experience before the human and during the human can happen and can go together, which
Mhm.
Yeah.
is maybe the moral of the story.
I've convinced you.
Yeah,
See, well, let's see AI sell that, right? It's
yeah.
not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Ian, I think you also had one other experience you wanted to share recently
Oh,
too, right?
yeah, yeah. I came across a win that's sort of similar in your experience with your win. It was just with Lego. I was reading about Lego, um, and I think they have a few documented stories of people writing letters, specifically some kids writing some letters that they're missing a piece or they lost a figure of one of their Lego sets. I think the example that I read was a
Is
Star
this a
Wars
personal
kit.
experience, Ian?
It's a personal.
Freudian slip there.
No, there's a kid named Luca that had a Star Wars kit and he lost his Darth Vader figure, and he wrote a letter to Lego and um just said what happened, and then Lego responded with a very nice customized letter to him saying, I think it was around the lines um that Darth Vader was rescued from the dark side, or some reason. So they had a very fun response to this kid about why Darth Vader went missing, and they were able to send him a new piece, a new figure. And so there's just a few stories from Lego sending, some figures or pieces that have been lost, and I think it goes a long way, like you said, that you just feel heard, you feel listened to, and just you get that great customer service that just really makes a big impact on
Yep.
you, and
Yep.
that's really what's important. So that was just a fun story that I came across.
Well done, Lego. Very, very
Yeah,
cool.
well done.
Always fun to end on the wins as opposed to the losses. But very good. Well, again, Travis, we're very, very grateful for you taking time to speak with us today and to hop on our podcast. And we're grateful to all of our listeners. Please continue to share your comments, questions, whatever you might be, or whatever you might have. We'd be more than happy to answer and or listen to them. And as always, please like and subscribe. Our podcast is available on all platforms. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, you can find us. So feel free to share with a friend as well. I think that's it. So we will sign off for today. This has been Press 2 for Representative. Have a good one.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.